in times of judgment, true judgment comes from within. That inner voice that separates you from society, saying a consecration to the Lord. In the times of the Great War, in Xerxes and side versus the king Belgium, Odin, Xerxes and Poseidon, and Beowulf and Odin, father and son alike. And then King David with Jesus, but it says in the Bible that the Father is the Son, and one day we will join the Son after death, and the commandments take place. This is a spiritual understanding of two realms, three realms. Helheim, where we live and had eaten the forbidden fruit and consummated childbirth, dying for God into the womb of the belly of a woman, and being born into the world with a piece of that soul, that star, wellspring, and spiritual wellspring that the star feeds off of, whether it be any kind of activity in the world, art, festivity, drawing, speaking, wisdom, knowledge, all kinds of other ways to establish a star feeding off of, a spirit, which is naturally the flesh, and the true judgment within, where the soul, with the inner voice or the inner conscience, that inner self, where true judgment is, whether the world can see it or can't see it. What we did is kill our natural self, spiritual self, that was without a feeling or a sight of God, and in a constant craze or hatred and anger towards God, for being tossed down to the earth. 1/3 of the stars was tossed down in Adam and Eve's time, after Jesus Christ had made the deal with Delphi and consummated the childbirth of Satan. I believe Satan is also known as Uzi, but I'm unsure. I have not made that an actual 100% positive, but it could be the same. They share the same name. But between the Father and the Son, or the Father here and the Son above, after dying, you go into the hell sanctuary from Helheim, and you join the Son, and you rule for 1,000 years with the commandments, which is to say that the world had taken something from it and is a thief. And in that theft, the commandments take place, and your star, what you had lost, your soul, what you had lost spiritually in this world, is given back to you up there with a great people, or many children. They say a saint has up to 1,000 children, whether it be as the Father in the world, in the realm Helheim, who had eaten from that tree of forbidden fruit and consummated through a woman, dying for God, is still alive in this world, still awake with the spiritual world of Helheim, who seeks salvation. The many vile children of an idol, musician, president, governor, senator, just a regular normal person, just a mother that gave birth to a child that does not like her spiritual wellspring or anything, anybody, really, anybody, but in salvation up above to that. But um, the, the darkness, they say, if there is nothing that the darkness can see without a light. And this is the foundation of the real helheim until God brought light to it. And I can't say that the great war took place before Adam and Eve, or if it took place after Adam and Eve, or if it took place at the same time of Adam and Eve, but they were made in the world of darkness. And this was after God had given light to the dark realm, Helheim, or all of them in one world, just with many sights and many wisdom and many different types of senses and feelings, arts, and the eyes and the mind, many hearts, many eyes and many minds, many different types of species who are called alphas in the art, from male to female, until it is completely turned into darkness and there is no longer a light that can see in order to give back to, well, God. It would have to be a consecration to the Lord Jesus Christ for that to be the supreme power of this realm, Helheim. So in that understanding that every dark room without a light, has no real salvation. All they have is a spreading into the people until it one day goes into a war. And in that war, had we destroyed the great, this is the plot of who or what it is that wants to destroy God's imagination and says only God's children suffer. This is that war that destroys God's imagination in all of his children, mostly the white rider in the dark room, as I explained, Poseidon being the death god with his son Xerxes hung on the tree of Judah, and Belver with his father Odin, and Jesus Christ as the scales, or the Savior, with Michael the Archangel, or Hercules, one of the other. I can't say the dragon's name clearly, but in my understanding, the White Rider is with both the scales and the third and the fourth dragon. The second dragon has no kingdom. They killed it and crushed it, and they don't do anything but sacrifice its name within all of God's children for their riches, for their money, and for their gain. This is the second dragon I explained to be Saint Miguel, or Zula, or Quillon is Saint Miguel, one of the other San Miguel, Saint Miguel, something like that. I'm not really sure, but when the darkness has a light, then the chances of war, of great destruction of God's imagination is very small. A light that sees the spirits through to the end. That God who says, I am the filth of this world, they disgust me. I have no, they don't acknowledge me enough. They don't love me enough. God has to have a consecration. He has to have something with pure wisdom, pure knowledge, pure understanding. He seeks that in all of his children. And the world, for some reason, has, I can't blame or judge. I can only go by what is written. That second writing, that law and vainglory. Caesar is the closest name that I can come up with, but the actual dragon's name, either Zula, I can't tell you the dragon's name, but there are many saints, arcane names, and there are 12 tribes to derive the 144,000 of good and evil until the final end. And I had said that the stars, when you see the stars falling from heaven, for the ones that have spent their entirety thieving or being unfair and unruly or unjust. Many stars that are exalted in the churches and on TV. Many stars that are thefted by the dividing of household in a law that is called, they call it lawless, something that must take place in order for the great war to take place again. A new Xerxes, a new Persian, um, sharing the ark together. The Mede and the Persian, and then one who stands up against the sanctuary, like it reads in Daniel 8. That was Jesus Christ who stood up against the sanctuary, and then which was the church, who could do nothing but spread it into the people because they had no real actual light and no real actual salvation, for they lacked wisdom. They lacked the eyes and the mind and the heart. They had nothing of those things. The many eyes and the many minds and the many hearts. However, uh, however the case, I'm not speaking in terms of who that was not the insight of Jesus Christ who was within, reborn, and Jesus Christ above, who is on every side, because in every church's mouth is Jesus Christ's name, whether it be sacrificial or it be praising glory, whether it be praising glory or whether it be praising glory to be sacrificed, for whatever purpose.